The cars lined up. There's 3 lights. That's 4. That's 5. The pause for effect. And it's lights out and away they go here in Spa. It's a good start from Gibbo on the top tyres. A great start, in fact. Now, side by side in towards turn 1. Barenko keeps it clean. Looked like the Mercedes is glitching a little bit of contact at the back, but everyone's getting through. There's a Williams off somewhere. I believe that was... that might have been Curator, but up at the front, Gibbo is clean away. Barenko up in P2. In third is Cornish in that Mercedes, but look behind him. August is there. He is going to get the benefit of the double toe. They are side by side, almost. Can he make it happen? He's got Barenko towing him along. They're side by side in towards the... No, I forgot the name. That's Contact. I completely forgot the name of the corner. That's Contact. And that is August the wrong way round. And it was Lacombe was the word I was thinking about. And that is unlucky. A little love tap on the wheels. There's a Ferrari at the back who is all over the place. I look like Mikey, but he just about holds it and keeps it on track. Yellow flag in sector 1, but no virtual safety car at the moment. So Gibbo almost a second clearing that DRS window. Cornish in third, chasing down Barenko. 40 up 3 places, should say, in that Alfa Romeo. My voice is going and I've only just heard it myself. Cornish is down in 5th place, hoping that the alternate strategy is going to be very beneficial for him later on in this race. Tom and Miniman, the Red Bull duo, 6th and 7th. Surely team orders are got to be coming into effect at some point, I'm sure. Jack up into P8 in the Alpine. Mitch in 9th, Neo in 10th in the Alpine. He's now in the points as AJ has come back. The biggest gainer at the moment, up 5 places in the AlphaTauri in towards... into P11, as it looks like we've got an off there from Cody in down towards turn 14, but he's down there at the moment. Gibbo crosses the line to start the second lap of this Belgian Grand Prix, and Barenko is not letting him out of his sights. No DRS for one more lap yet, but the detection zone is just down the hill. They're actually passing it right now as they come up the hill, but Barenko will still get a tow. It's just closed 0.2 of a second. Gets very squirrely up the top of Radion. So keep an eye on that. But looking a bit further back, Cornish and Footy side by side. It looks like Footy had a bit of a better exit out turn 1 in, well, from the source. Comfortably goes ahead without the use of the DRS. Curator gets a penalty and is out of the Grand Prix. There's a collision out the back. Someone has gone off a Rouge and Radion. It looks like Curator as well.
Yeah. As we have a safety car, Cody's in the pit. He had a spin at turn 13. I came back on 2, and of course, once you go off the track, your tires are too hot, and he went back off at turn 15. So that's why Cody's sitting in the pit. I didn't see what actually happened August initially, but yeah, he definitely had a coming together there with Curator picking up a penalty, and August is unfortunately out of the race.
Yep, that was another victim. It must have been a side-by-side up a Rouge, and unfortunately it didn't work out for either of them, and that is the Williams of Curator, as you can see. And you just saw earlier in the background, it was August in the wall, unfortunately. So that is his race done as the safety car comes out. And what are the drivers going to do? I would imagine the soft runners will pit. I would imagine stick on a set of hards and go as deep as they can into the race before switching more than likely to another set of the hard tires, and try and push for that bonus point of the fastest lap. We'll have to wait and see, as it looks like Gibbo is slightly over the delta. And there we go. You can almost call me God at strategy. Gibbo is in. Barenko is in. Footy is in. Cornish is in. And here comes the alternate strategy of OG Cornish into P1 on the medium tyre. It's almost like I can predict this, Ninja. It's almost like I can predict this.
I think at this stage of the race, staying out on the medium is the best option to do. Because the softs will have to come back in for another pit stop, even if they do go on hards. So Cornish can save these tires basically onto the safety car, go a little bit longer and switch to the softs at the end of the race. So Cornish is in a very strong position here. I'm just looking at AJ, who's up at 6th place from 16th.
He has. I'll just quickly have a look at this position change. Yes, 16th AJ started in, and now he's up into P10. Did not elect to stop under the safety car. He's still out on them soft tires, 2 laps old. or 3 laps if you include qualifying. But the safety car is out, and this means the lap that DRS was meant to be enabled, it has now been disabled once again, and they will not be active for 2 more laps. So it'll be down to Cornish on them 2-lap-old medium tyres against the Red Bull duo of Miniman and Tom, the Verstappen and Checo of this grid at the moment. They've done well to hold it together, and they always tend to run behind one another. So it's good to see that these two are still working together as a team, as what we do like to see. But they're on the soft tyres. Do they still have enough grip left in them, which I imagine they would, to get the jump on Cornish come the start of the Grand Prix? Or start the Grand Prix, I'll say the restart after the safety car comes in. There we go.
I feel Gibbo has made a mistake here because he's put on softs, which is a bit of a strange call to go from softs to softs after 2 laps.
Well, Footy's also done the same thing. Footy has also elected to go into another set of the soft tyres.
Whereas Barenko and Mantis are on mediums. We do have Neo, Nitro, and Cody on the hard, so we'll just have to watch out for them, especially Cody, because we know how quick he can be. If he can get some free air to get some pace down on those hard tyres. But yeah, I feel Gibbo and Footy might have made a mistake here going on to softs again.
Yeah, quite possibly. That is a very good spot indeed. And now lap 3 will be lap 4 by the time the safety car crosses the line. But these hard tyres will easily go from here until the end of the race. They may be struggling towards the end as they start approaching the cliff, but the hards can run to the end. The soft tyres, because Curator has also come in and put on a fresh set of softs. But this, oh, hang on, we got someone on in the back. Mantis has lost his front wing.
Oh, he's in the pit, and Footy. Footy's in as well.
As AJ gets... Yeah, but AJ's just got a penalty for a collision with Gibbo.
That's
so
very strange.
AJ now with a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Gibbo. That I don't understand this or that system whatsoever, because the cars did slow down by turn 1, so maybe the safety car just caused a chain effect. But we know that AJ's definitely got the pace, and he'll be able to claw that time back fairly easy. Now I'm unsure though what happened with Footy and Mantis.
I'm
because there's no penalty. There's no penalty, so apparently they didn't hit each other. I'm
also confused why AJ's got a penalty for hitting Gibbo when Gibbo's 2 places ahead of him.
It's Cody's. I have no idea. Words cannot describe.
Sure. We'll see after the race. I'm sure there'll be reports put in. Mantis had a spin. We're getting some information from Raza, who probably is in voice chat with some of these drivers.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, so...
he span up El Rouge, not Eau Rouge. Okay, that's a El Rouge. Well, that explains that one. So that explains the missing front wing. And would that have been Footy making a mistake with the tyre choice? Because remember, he did go back in for the soft tyres, came out, and then boxed straight away. So maybe Footy using his time while the pack is still together. Granted, he has lost about 10 positions, but now he's on the correct tyre, ready for the restart.
Yeah, and the pace of Footy, I think the only driver around him that he's going to have any issue with is Barenko, who is also on the mediums. So if Footy can get past Cody and Curator and Neo Nitro as quickly as possible, I think we'll see him come towards the end of the race. Footy will be back in with a shout for a podium at least.
Indeed, and as we wait and see if he can make that happen, the safety car is in this lap. So the cars are now in towards Sector 3 of Blanchemont, Curb Paul Ferrer, and the bus stop chicane. So Cornish will lead the pack all the way, and he will decide when he wants to go. And it looks like he's not quite backing him up as much as he wants. He's going very quickly. So definitely trying to get some heat into their medium tyres. That will take a little bit longer to warm up. But now he's got the dreaded pair of Tom and Miniman, the Red Bull duo, to barrel down behind him. Mediums versus softs. Who is going to win this fight? When does he decide to go? It's usually in or around the bus stop chicane. He rounds the first corner. There's a collision, and it looks like Jack gets a 5-second penalty for a collision, And out of nowhere, Gibbo has just taken the lead, but that was overtaking before the safety car. So Gibbo will have to give that position back according to the rules. That was a little bit of a naughty. That was a little bit of a naughty overtake. So Gibbo will have to give that back because they hadn't crossed the safety car line, and it looks like Gibbo has given that position back, but he may have to give it back again to Tom and Miniman. So Gibbo could lose out his places following the restart.
I'm not actually sure where the safety car line is.
It's the start finish because the bus stop is before the entry to the pit lane.
Oh, well then, yeah. I don't know what happened there. Oh yeah, Gibbo's handed back there now.
There we go. So
it should be fine.
There was a little bit of a collision there, so maybe Gibbo just wanted to avoid it, but at that point, I think Cornish had to cross the line. So yes, Gibbo, very fair from him, giving the positions back, probably because he just heard me shouting, saying that is unfair. Which he'll probably tell me afterwards anyway. But Footy now already up. He's past Curator. Next target is Neo Nitro. Mantis is also past Curator. There was no defense going on there. DRS is not enabled yet. As Footy now doing a double overtake by the look of it around Neo and Mikey. Just caught the end of that. But that looked like the outside of Puyon. That was a brave move on the medium tyres. And what a hell of a move that was. Now he's got the Haas in front of him of Barenko. And Barenko getting hold up by the McLaren of Cody. So what is he going to do? You can just see bit of overspeed from Footy. He is definitely on a push lap. Barenko will not want to let him go very easily, but there's only 1 lap difference in the tires. It's not going to matter. Cornish OG up at the front getting a time penalty, which I didn't quite see, but does set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That McLaren is holding up Barenko, and this is giving Footy a massive opportunity. Stranger Craig is ahead of him. Footy, so Footy's teammate Stranger Craig could also be playing a key part of backing the pack up. Cody making the move to the inside of La Source, but goes very deep. Craig planting that car beautifully on the apex of La Source, and now this has opened up the opportunity side by side into Eau Rouge and Radion. Are they going to stick with it? No. Footy tucks in behind Barenko. That looks like that's Barenko gone in Eau Rouge, and that is a retirement. I'm more than sure that will also be a safety car as Curator almost goes off as well, and that was some fair fighting. And I just saw the back end of that car going halfway up the hill from the bottom camera angle, and this has just turned the race upside down once again.
Yeah, we gotta get a safety car for that, I feel. We've got yellow flags out in Sector 1 and Sector 2 right now, as we do have... Is that Craig?
That is a safety car. Yeah, that is a safety car once again. So what the medium run is going to do, are they going to stick with it until about lap 12? The pack is going to bunch up once more. Mantis is pitted again. By the looks of it, he has got a fresh set of soft tires on. So I'm wondering if Mantis span once more. Craig in losing his wing. So Craig from his spin is going to come into the pits. Mikey is trundling along nicely in that Ferrari. And Curator is sort of holding the fort back at P12. So Footy starting from the back of the grid. Now up into P10. And Barenko, unfortunate as any, just that back end, losing that downforce up the hill. And I believe, Ninja, I caught the replay. Ted, over to you.
Let's have a little look at the replay.
Let's have a little look. There we are, side by side. There's Footy and Barenko. You just see the car tilt away halfway up the hill. Now the car's gone. And that is just a lot. That's just a lack of downforce, and you can lose it just as easy as that going up the hill. And I must admit, that was one hell of a camera angle that I caught on that one. But that is unfortunate for Barenko. Absolutely unfortunate for him. He definitely had the pace. Maybe had the wrong tire, having to pit again. I believe that might have been Cornish, but it just got real, Ninja.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But it's Eau Rouge has got another victim in our leagues. And so, yeah, as we settle back in now, I'm just looking down, see what tires everyone's going on. Most of them's going on to medium. Mike's going on to the hard. Is he going to the end of the race?
So Mike will definitely be going to the end of the race. But more importantly, where's he gone? I've lost him. Cornish leading the Grand Prix on the medium tyres, 6-lap hold, has now pitted for the soft. So that is settled him in now for the 2-stop strategy. The medium, soft, medium is definitely going to be the favourite for him at the moment. But luckily didn't lose too much time and has put himself in towards P8, and the drivers are getting very close together, so they need to watch out. The safety car isn't in this lap, so they need to watch out, because that's only going to happen in the 3rd sector, so they can afford to spread out, use the time to get the temperature in the tires and the brakes. But yes, at the moment, Cornish down in P8 has pitted, committing to the 2-stop, but from P9 onwards, all pitting for the medium tire, except for Mike, who can go to the end of the Grand Prix. Yes, you are right. With, I'm trying to do quick maths in my head, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. I was getting there.
I'm sorry.
I was using my fingers. Fingers and toes. Fingers and toes. Fingers and toes. Yes. As we look into the chat, can't blame anyone but myself for the Eau Rouge crash, but Craig just ran me off the track, causing me to lose the position to the McLaren. I'm hearing bumbling and bumbling. That's up ahead.
Neo.
That is Neo and Curator. Curator's car. Sorry.
Neo and Gibbo. I think Gibbo is having internet issues, so I think that's what that is.
I believe it is, because he was in AI mode as the position is now swapped over. But is that now going to be classed as an illegal overtake? Because Gibbo is back in his car. I'm slightly confused as to what's going on, and we will have a quick look at the penalties as the safety car stays out for one more lap. So Gibbo, Neo Nitro. Neo Nitro. That was 2 5-second penalties for a collision with Gibbo, and now another 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags for not handing the position back to Gibbo. That was an illegal overtake because the car had glitched out in AI mode. This is confusing me, Ninja.
Was Gibbo ahead of Neo before that, or was Neo already in 5th? That's the issue. But we'll sort it out after the race anyway. So
yeah, and he is saying that his internet is playing up and he has the footage. So it's a shame that connection issues do happen. And what is Neo going to do? Because he can only serve 5 seconds of that 15 in the pits under his next stop. It will not let him serve all 15 seconds in the pit lane. The game will not allow you to do that, whereas you could do that in real life. But if you had 15 seconds of time penalties, you're probably going to get black flagged anyway. There's a move going on at the back. AJ and Tom switching places. Again, curious. Maybe Tom had a little bit of a wobble through the Camel Straight, even though I don't know how, because it's a straight line. Who knows? But whilst they're driving around, we wait till Sector 3, so we won't find that out until turn 14, 15 at the Campus and Stavlo, the double right-hander down there. I'm gonna just watch this side-by-side action going up a Rouge once again with Footy and Barenko, and it is just unfortunate. That is just how it happens. The little love tap on the curb, the back end's gone and into the wall he goes. Unfortunate, because it would have been an entertaining race up ahead later on after the cars have made the pit stops. So not too far away from Sector 3. The pack is bunched up and the safety car will be more likely to come back in. There is still no DRS for another 2 laps upon the restart, but Mitch in the McLaren is leading the field with Simi out of nowhere from getting about 10 seconds on track and crashing out. It's stayed out on the soft tyres and is now sat in P2, but can he keep the pace? Because them tyres will definitely be on the cliff. The safety car is in this lap. The teammate Mitch in the other McLaren in P3 on the hard tyres. He will not have to pit again in this Grand Prix. Footy up into P4. Gibbo and Nitro, as Nitro gets another penalty with some internet issues. So this is unfortunate for that, and I'm sure the penalties will get removed by the stewards afterwards, which isn't ideal in the race. That's now 20 seconds of penalties for Neo, as Cornish is now up in 7th, AJ in 8th. He's back in the points. Tom in the Red Bull down in 9th position with Jack 10th and Miniman in 11th. Now we'll jump to the restart of the race. What can Mitch do as they round the bus stop? We'll wait and see when he's going to go. He tried going halfway through the bus stop, and that is him gone. And there's an off in the back. Well held by Simi there. That was a beautiful, beautiful catch. Out the bus stop chicane. You must have been impressed with that one. We got some moving at the back. Cornish on the softs against Neo Nitro's hard tires. He is now up into P6. Up ahead, Simi and Footy battling out. They're almost 3 wide. Coming out of turn. Well, coming up towards Rouge side by side. Footy and Cody. No, these tucks in single file. And Cody goes very wide. Manages to hold it. We got enough at the back. That is another one. That is the house of Neo Nitro. He is in the wall, but the car is still moving. Maybe a VSC, but we'll have to wait for a few seconds, see what happens there as Jack and Miniman are moving. I'm having to flip the camera all over the place. We've got a good shot here. Tom sneaking up the inside as Miniman goes very wide. So Jack now stuck in the Red Bull sandwich as they come round. Turn 7. They're out of Lacombe in towards Brussels. I'm probably saying it right. So if you're Belgian, I do apologize. I'm not very good at languages all the time. But now everything is settling up. We've got Gibbo cutting sideways. Cutters is gone. The little bit of the inside curb down Puyon, and that is what he does. But he held it again, and he's still on track. Footy now up into P3. Cornish in P4 on soft tires. We've got another mover. Now's a McLaren off. Mitch has gone off in the background. And something is going on here. It might have been a little love tap on the rear of the car. But that is Mitch. He is still going on the track. It looks like he's still moving. He's not DNF'd. He's just lost his front wing. So Gibbo now leading the Grand Prix through all the chaos. Footy up into P2 as Tom gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits whilst he was punted off the track. I'm assuming AJ making a move on Cody up into P number 4. He's up into 4th now. Cody on the hard tires. We expect that one. The grip levels aren't quite in the window for them hard. He's having to work them back into where they should be as Simi is now into the pits as we would expect for a new front wing. Now what can AJ do? AJ's 1.5 seconds behind the pack. Cornish is only 0.2 of a second behind Footy. He's on the soft tires. They're clean through. No DRS for at least one more lap, but you can just see the power of the battery and the slipstream side by side. Are they going to stay 2 abreast going into Lacombe? It looks like that way. Who's going to be later on the brakes? It looks like
Cody.
Footy was just about there.
Cody's had an off. He's lost his front wing at the top of Rouge. He did well to avoid Mantis and Miniman coming up almost side by side through Eau Rouge. And then they caught the back end of Cody, who I think went wide and lost the front wing. But
well,
this is hectic all over.
It's chaos at the front, but I'm sorry, but Cornish and Footy doing some beautiful moves. Footy with the switchback line in towards turn 8 as they now go, they round Puyon, but Footy and Cornish are battling hard and the switchback lines are coming into play, but I think the soft sides are just a little bit too fresh for Footy's medium.
Yes, but he's keeping pace. If how many more laps? Another lap or 2 before we get DRS, and he's gonna lose the DRS, I reckon, through this straight. Them softs just a little bit too strong at this stage. Footy's going to have to push for another... Well, there's 12 laps left of the race, so he's not going to get to the end on those mediums. I don't think.
It might be quite close, but the car gets a little bit lighter, or you would expect, but the safety car has been out, so they've actually saved more fuel than anything. As Gibbo does set the fastest lap. I'm currently on board with Mantis and Miniman. Alpine versus Mercedes. There's the call. The DRS is enabled, but you won't see it just yet. You'll see the power of the slipstream and the toe as they go down the Kenmore straight. Jack holding his own against Cornish, but Cornish is going to get a little bit of a lovely toe all the way up. He is still within the window. The detection point is already gone. As Jack gets a big wobble, is now sideways, keeps out the wall up by Rouge, but Mantis still gets the DRS. There it is, the flap at the back gives you an extra 13 kilometers an hour, give or take, especially in this configuration. So Cornish Mantis now up into 5th, and Jack managing to do well to keep that car out the wall up by Rouge. It claimed the victim, but it didn't finish him off. And breathe.
Yeah. Cody's been in the pit on the mediums. So he'll be coming out. That'll be him to the end of the race now. 11 laps on the mediums. He should be able to do that. Simi trying to close the gap on Mitch. Simi's came in, put on a new front wing. He's got fresh mediums on. Mitch on those fresh softs ahead of him though. So Mitch should be a bit quicker through here, and of course Craig. Oh, we've got a DNF. Cody is out of the race.
Cody is out, and I know exactly where that is. That is up Eau Rouge. The third victim has been claimed. So is that going to be another safety car? Well, I'd imagine it would be, but there is a safety car limit because Simi's pushing hard, even catching up with the, well, obviously they're still at full race pace, but Cody's almost going sideways out of no name. Just keeps it in track limits. But I think, do you say Cody pitted for a new wing?
Cody came in for a new wing, new tires, so he's basically crashed as he came out of the pits.
If he came out in the hard tires, it would have been cold tires.
But it's mediums.
It was well, first lap on the mediums up at Rouge Radion. It's likely that may have been the cause, but it's unfortunate to see him go. So his father isn't racing today.
Craig spun at the back.
That looks like he is down at curb Paul Frere, and he's heating up his rears and takes his wing out. So Craig, what are you doing, mush? As he's trying to get
donuts. Got to be careful with the throttle. Oh, it's like driving without traction control.
Yep, and that is a VSC. The VSC is out, and Cornish was right on the heels of Gibbo. So Gibbo is now leading the race. I believe he wasn't. I can't remember. A lot has happened in the space of a few laps. So Gibbo currently leading. The virtual safety car is deployed, so the cars have to stick to a set delta of race pace. As that is it. That's the virtual safety car done. The DRS is back on, and it looked like Cornish caught Gibbo napping. He was bang on his delta, and he's right on the heels of Gibbo. This is still a fight for the lead of the Grand Prix. Footy is still in third, 1.4 seconds behind, but he does have a penalty, as we will quickly try and find out what he has. 3-second time penalty, which means that AJ is currently in his window, but AJ up 12 places since the start of this Grand Prix, DNFing up Eau Rouge in qualifying, so he's doing well, and probably at the moment the driver of the day. But can he make the medium tires last to the end of the Grand Prix? How much is he going to push? Now, saying that one through Blanchemont, side by side in towards the bus stop chicane. Later on the brakes, he is in that Aston Martin. Cornish now takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Gibbo looking for the switchback line in the Williams, and Cornish does pick up the DRS. Footy is closing the gap a little bit more while these two find up ahead. Is it going to be a move on the inside of La Source? No, he doesn't. Gibbo is staying behind him, and it is now a race to the end of the Kemmel Straight into Lacan, but Gibbo will have the benefit of the tow and the DRS, and what Cornish can only try and defend from him using his battery to deploy. And I'm struggling to catch my breath, and my voice is definitely going, but look at that overpower. Look at that overspeed that he's getting. There's nothing that Cornish can do. He's just going to sit behind, wait, charge his battery, and re-attack probably the next lap, as long as he can keep them tyres in the optimal window. But Footy's now 2/10 closer, and AJ 2.5 seconds, trying to get better, well, back up to that front pack and stay within that 3 seconds of Footy's penalties, so long as no one else gets it. And I think Cornish is one away from 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, he's that was quite an overtake from Cornish into the bus stop, but the DRS just so powerful coming down. What is it, the Kemmel Street?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was straight at Gibbo, straight back into first. Footy trying to hold on here. He's
Nitro's off.
Oh, he's almost within that 1 second DRS window. AJ is following back a little bit as Neo Nitro comes back on. He's going to ghost. AJ should be fine here as he is a back marker. But yeah, ooh, run wide. That was a bit dangerous. Mantis is going to be keeping the pressure as well. We gotta watch out for Mantis. I don't think any other the front runners are in the race anymore. Maybe Mitch. Mitch is on those fresh soft tires. 2 laps done. He will have to pit again on those. But he is catching Curator very, very quickly.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that one, but up ahead, sorry, Gibbo and Cornish find it out. It looked like another late move in towards the bus stop, but look at what's happening up front. Footy is now with the pack. They're fighting. He's just closed 1.2 seconds in the space of a lap, and these three are going to be fighting out at the top, which means that Cornish and AJ are going to get brought into this fight. But now we're going to have to see. It's a race to Lacombe down the Kemmel Straight. Gibbo, nothing he can do. He doesn't have any DRS. Nitro has retired. somewhere on the track. I believe that's up in turn 1. The camera angles change. Cornish is now taking the lead. Makes the move on the inside into Lecombe. Oh, just in time. Cornish just gets the overtake in time of Lecombe. Turn 5 into turn 6. Safety car deployed. Their attack is now neutralized. And we are going to go again as Gibbo now takes the lead of the Grand Prix. So was that an illegal overtake? Just before the safety car came out, it was very, very close to call.
I seen the safety car appear on the track map, so I knew it was coming out, and I think Cornish just overtook a split second after the safety car came out. So
Gibbo
he did the right thing, he
saved.
had in the back.
Gibbo saved by the safety car, and it was a cracking move up the inside of La Source. The DRS train was there.
Yeah, I think we've just been robbed of a three-way battle there coming up the Kemmel Street. A little bit unfortunate, but this will be the final safety car out, I think. We're only allowed 3 in a race, isn't that right?
It's 3 or 4. I can't quite remember, but it's just, everyone's back into the fight. AJ will have another chance to attack Footy, but he needs to watch out for Cornish from Mantis, who's behind him. It's all getting spicy. Craig almost a lap down at the moment as he's only just crossing the start finish, so he will be allowed to overtake the safety car. And it's an interesting one. As I'm saying that interesting, Footy is in the pits. Gibbo is in the pits. Cornish is in the pit. The top 3 are in the pits, and AJ is now taking the lead of the Grand Prix. It looks like the top 3 are sticking on the softs. I went past the Aston Martin garage. That's a set of soft tyres. That looked like the Alfa Romeo. That's a set of soft tyres. Gibbo's going for the mediums.
This is interesting.
I don't think Gibbo's actually stopped for an alternate tyre. Gibbo's pitted twice for the softs.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, he's been forced to go on to the medium. This is unfortunate for Gibbo. He's going to be in the slower tyre for the remainder of the race.
But they will definitely last to the end. Whereas Cornish, Footy, and other Cornish, and Jack for that matter, is now pitted for the soft tyres. May get a little bit sketchy towards the end for grip with 7 laps left to go. If my math is correct, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it is. So the safety car is going to stay out for at least 2 more laps.
Yeah.
Then maybe the soft tyre is the right choice. AJ just needs to defend against Miniman and Gibbo and get an absolute flyer of a race restart. So at the moment, AJ has gone from 16th to 1st.
Which is quite impressive. We didn't think we were going to have a last to first challenge here today, but I guess we do. Can he hold on to it though? It's going to be like Cornish, Footy, Mantis are very fast drivers on the faster tyre. Gibbo's going to be a sitting duck, I feel, when the safety car gets restarted.
Quite possibly, but who knows? I mean, this is Belgium. Anything can happen, and also the fact that Gibbo, Cornish, Footy, Mantis, and Jack are all on a fresh set of tyres, as well as Gibbo. They're all going to be fighting for position. So when they're fighting at the back, AJ's there, sitting pretty. He's got clean air, and away he goes. And while everyone's fighting behind, they're just going to lose time and drop back. So what it all comes down to the race restart and what AJ Miniman can do. 7 lap old medium tires. They will be 14 laps by the end of the Grand Prix with everyone else fighting behind him. This is going to is going to go crazy on the restart, and the safety car is out for 1 more lap as Craig is now leaving the pit lane. I believe. No, Neo Nitro has left the session, but he had unfortunately retired earlier. But 1 more lap onto the safety car.
Can you put up your lap data?
My lap data.
Yeah.
Which one? Lap data? Yes, I can.
Please.
There you are.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just to see what people are doing lap wise, as Craig is going to have a whole lap to catch up, so I feel the safety car is going to be coming in before Craig catches the back of this pack.
I believe it will. So Craig is only just entering sector 2 of Lecombe, whilst the rest of the drivers are going up Eau Rouge.
Yeah. So I really hope they don't keep the safety car out for another lap, as he does get a 3
as
second.
he does get a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and I can tell you exactly where that was. That was at the exit of No Name. Oh, I call it No Name. It's turn 9, but I think everyone knows it as No Name. Well, that's how I remember it anyway. So Craig, it sort of feels like Craig, we love you really, but it almost feels like the safety car is driving at the same pace as Craig at the moment. Looking at the track map at the moment, it does look like it's driving the same pace.
Yeah, look at another driver here, Mitch. Although he's in 12th place, but this has brought him right back in on those fresh mediums. He's got Curator ahead of him, and then Tom. Everyone ahead of him is on at least 5-lap-old tires.
They are. So, Curator is the so at the moment AJ and Miniman 8-lap-old medium tires. Mikey up in P8 could be in for points here. He's on the hard tires, 8 laps old, as well as Curator, who's on 7-lap-old hard tires. Now it's a good tire to go on. They've caught back up. They're now into the points. But the problem is the safety car restart. The hard tires, you have to work them like there's no tomorrow to get the heat in the tires, or we could actually see them sideways up Eau Rouge and into the wall. They need to be careful on the safety car restart. And with that one, Craig's on fresh softs, Mitch is on medium tires that are fresh, and then you got Simi and Tom. Anything can happen because they'll be able to get past the hard tire runners, I would say, relatively easily, until it gets to about 4 laps later, when the hards are back into the operating window.
Yeah. So Mitch has a good chance here getting points, high in the points, possibly 8th, maybe. But it is the front runners that we're going to be focusing on, I feel. AJ Miniman's going to be under a lot of pressure here, especially from Gibbo and those fresh mediums. Yeah,
absolutely. Gibbo on the fresh mediums, and he's not alone in that fight. The Cornish cousins and Footy and now WS Jack all in contentions on that soft compound tire. So for anyone who's watching that weren't sure why Gibbo put on the mediums at this stage in the race, the rules state that you have to use an alternate compound of tyre. Soft, medium, medium soft, it doesn't matter, but you have to use one alternate set, one alternate compound during the phase of the Grand Prix, unless you start on an intermediate or full wet tyre, or if it rains at a point of the Grand Prix, which then deems you having to put on an intermediate or wet tyre, it nulls that rule. So Gibbo have it pitted soft, medium, so it looks like it definitely was a mistake, Ninja.
Yeah, I think it was. But we'll see. We'll see.
Is
Craig... we know Gibbo's quick anyway.
We do indeed. Thank you very much for the follow, and my screen is really small and I can't see who it is, but I do apologize. But thank you very much for the follow. We do appreciate it, and welcome to the Simcade Formula 1 2021-2022 Championship Season 1. Breathe.
I think that's August. I think.
I couldn't see. My screen's too small.
Yeah, I think it's August.
I'm so sorry.
Remember. Because he's got a username that isn't anything to do with his actual PlayStation name. So I think it is August.
Makes sense. Yeah. But thank you very much. Either way, we appreciate it. It's weird because usually I do my piratey thing, but I just remembered like a split second I was going to do it, and then I realized I'm not on my channel. So I literally took a breath and went, no. Just a little bit of moment of panic. Now that I can stop panicking a little bit, this is going to be the third restart coming up. They're crossing into Sector 3 now, and there it is. I saw it coming a mile away. Craig is now at the back of the pack. AJ leading in the Alpha Tauri, Miniman in the Red Bull back up there, but he hasn't got anyone to block him. His partner, his teammate is down in P10, but still in the points for the Red Bull. Gibbo in the Williams in P3. Cornish, Footy, Mantis and Jack All the soft runners, brand new softs, are back in this race, and we'll just see what they can do. So AJ looking to get an absolute blinding restart, taking his time back in the pack right up, and he has served his 5-second time penalty as well, which could still be appealed at the end of the Grand Prix, and it looks like he's already gone. It looks like AJ's already gone. He sort of went halfway around Blanchemont in towards the bus stop now, and that is it. That's the race restart. Gibbo getting a 5-second penalty. No, Cornish getting a 5-second penalty. So Cornish now side by side with Gibbo, the soft tyres, definitely being the critical tyre at this point, easily up the inside of Pouillon. No DRS again for the next 2 laps. AJ, in the meantime, opening 1.1 second gap. Mikey up into 8, side by side, just 3 abreast into Pouillon, into La Source. And can he hold it? He's on the hard tyres, he's spending, well, he's getting himself around Tom and Cutters up Eau Rouge. Keeps it nice and clean. No DRS at the moment. Miniman closing 2/10 on AJ up at the front. Cornish on his heels. Looks to make a move around the outside. Looking for the switchback line into Lacombe. It doesn't happen. So now stuck behind. Gibbo in P4 at the moment. Holding off on the medium tyres. So Cornish is now looking to now go around the outside of Brussels. Now we get the switchback line. It's a beautiful move. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. In towards No Name. Later on the brakes on the soft tyres. AJ now gets a 3-second time penalty. But Cornish up into P2 around the outside of No Name. Gibbo now trying to chase down. Miniman goes very wide down around Pouillon. 40 up the inside on the soft tyres. It doesn't make it happen, but Cornish Mantis is now snuck around the outside and dives up the inside of the campus chicanes. That's a brave move there. So now Cornish up into P5 with a brave move. Jack is hot on the heels of Footy, so the top runners are still in it, but Cornish 6/10 now, half a second even behind AJ, but Miniman 1.3 seconds behind. And saying that, Gibbo just takes the Miniman on the medium tyres that are a lot fresher. And what can he do? Looks like deployable is run out. There's a contact in the back. Now it's Cornish Mantis the wrong way round. I saw that just happen. There was a late move up the inside, and I'm saving that replay, which we'll definitely take a look at later. But he has kept his car intact.
Mantis tried to send it down the inside of Miniman, I think that was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Miniman closed the door, so Mantis was a little bit overzealous there, so that has cost him, and Footy has got up into 4th place. But that's a mad restart. I think AJ got a little bit of help there from Miniman. Miniman just wasn't as aware as everyone else around him, so AJ was able to pull out that gap, but he is under pressure now from Cornish.
He is indeed, and soft versus mediums, and you can just see how late you can brake. There's another bit of contact there as AJ is getting his elbows out. It was wheel to wheel, that was side by side in towards the calm. Cornish is going to have to reset, but he gets a 3-second time penalty again. But look behind, you can just see Gibbo closing the gap, but them soft tires, you can just brake so much later, so much traction on the exit, side by side in towards No Name. Can Cornish make it happen again? No, he doesn't. AJ is definitely getting his elbows out in towards Pouillon. This is one place you don't want to be side by side, and looks like AJ lets him through, but now Cornish goes wide, so could get a penalty for that one. No, AJ's coming back with a little switchback down Pouillon. You wouldn't expect that whatsoever, and now another switchback in towards campus. AJ is holding his own, but look behind. Gibbo and Footy have definitely closed the gap once more in towards now turn 14. AJ around the outside, a little bit of contact there, nudging the front end, but Cornish sticks it up into now P1, a little bit further back. Footy and Gibbo are now side by side. This is very, very intriguing towards the end of the race. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Footy now up into 3rd. Gibbo down into 4th, and he is not going to want to give that up. He is fighting these soft runners with every ounce that he has got in that car with 3 laps left to go.
Yeah, I don't know if AJ picked up any damage there. I don't think he did. Cornish and AJ battling through that final sector 3 quite fairly. Little taps, but yeah, I think AJ really struggling on those medium tires now. The soft's just a little bit too strong.
Absolutely, yeah. Footy's just closing that time more and more. 12-lap old medium tires versus 5-lap old soft tires. 3 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Now the question is, when are the soft tires about to hit the cliff? As it looks like Footy is now going to make a straightforward DRS pass. AJ maybe with a cheeky little last-minute defense there. But Footy just desperately wants the inside line now. Footy up into P2, and you can just break so much later and sets a purple sector 1. Fastest lap is still up for grabs. AJ under pressure now from Gibbo as Cornish now gets a 3-second time penalty. This has just brought everyone back into contention once more. As it stands, Gibbo is temporarily in P1. Cornish is 8 seconds of penalties, Footy with 6, and AJ with 3. Gibbo and Mantis currently in a podium position after the penalties are applied at the end of the Grand Prix.
This is crazy, and Mantis is now putting pressure under Gibbs, who's putting pressure on AJ. This is going to be a battle to the end. It is a sprint race. We basically got a sprint race after the safety car. I know Jack is closing in on Miniman as well, but yeah, Mantis, I feel, may take Gibbo. If he can be brave, he might outbrake him into the bus stop. We'll see in a couple of seconds.
There is another. I just thought about something. The DRS is going to be enabled this lap. AJ is out. Footy has broken the DRS window for AJ. So AJ is going to be sitting duck to Gibbo and Mantis come the last couple of laps of this Grand Prix. So AJ will be a sitting duck once the DRS is enabled. That's if it has enabled. Footy now setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Jack is still now stuck behind Miniman, but Miniman has a 3-second time penalty on top of that one. So Jack is currently up into P6, or he will get more from Cornish's 8-second penalty as he looks to go around the outside, the switchback line into Lasource. Miniman getting squirrely on the exit, and this has compromised him all the way down to Lasource. Looking up a little bit ahead though, Footy is going to take on Cornish, and he does make it move. He got a great run out turn one. There's the DRS, and that is all that you need. Looking a bit further back, Gibbo and AJ, that is a move being made there, but Cornish Mantis was too far back. He didn't benefit from this, so now AJ is going to be behind that Williams, still currently at the moment is net P2, but that switchback line from Mantis, just the overspeed on the soft tires, and there was nothing that AJ can do. That just came out of nowhere as we got a yellow flag up Eau Rouge, and that looks like Jack is the wrong way round.
Jack has spun at the top of Eau Rouge, and he's gone from 6th place all the way down to 13th. He is not going to be happy with that. That's not the way he wanted his race to end. So that's him out of the points. Mitch moves up into 7th. Miniman has a bit of free air now, and AJ's around. AJ has lost it.
AJ, what has happened here? I don't think it was any contact. No, that looked like it looked like he hit the curb in turn 12, turn 13.
Yeah, turn 12. He just lost it on his own. Now he's going to be under a little bit of pressure from Mitch, I feel. No, he's fine. He's fine. No,
saying that, Miniman's gone off at the same place as well. And we're just trying to see how old these tyres are.
13
lap old tyres. They have just hit the peak of that cliff. And looking up ahead. So that's unfortunate for AJ, but he's still in a good position at the moment to get some points because everyone else behind him has penalties. And if he can close that gap, he is still in with a chance of at least getting 4th. Now, ahead, Footy is leading the Grand Prix. Cornish is behind. He has to lift going through Eau Rouge up the top of Radion. The DRS is enabled. This is the final lap of the Grand Prix. Can Footy do anything to defend it? No, he can't. So it looks like Cornish now in P1, but penalties will apply, which at the moment will put Footy in P1. Gibbo gets Cornish through the DRS. So now Gibbo is temporarily in P1. That's the penalty. And that is Gibbo the wrong way round. That is what just happened there. Gibbo the wrong way round. Maybe just hit the curb a little bit too much. And this is just spiced up with the last part of the race because now AJ will have the chance to catch up and take P4. With the penalties that he has. So Gibbo can still get a penalty with this one. In a Ninja, it's all going crazy in the last lap of the Grand Prix.
It's insane. I'm not actually 100% sure what happened, but Mantis and Gibbo definitely had it coming together at turn 5, turn 6. And Gibbo, unfortunately, did get spun around. I'm sure we'll get something after the race from that.
I may have a replay.
Mantis is in second as we are approaching the final 2 quarters with Cornish and Footy. How will this finish?
It is, well, looking at the battery state, Cornish has got about 30% and Footy has got 6%, but crossing the line at the moment with penalties applied, we're going to have to wait and see. This is going to be still going to be a fight to the line. Is there going to be a crazy lunge from half a second away? I don't think it is, but he did close the gap. But at the moment, your on-track winner here in Spa for the 5th round of the Simcade F1 League is Cornish, but is automatically pipped to the post by Footy for Cornish's unserved time penalty. And there it is. Cornish Mantis crosses the line now in P1. Gibbo crosses the line and does not improve from the penalties. Now AJ is fighting with Mitch Mountford coming across the line, and we're going to see where the penalties are going to put these. AJ holds on to P5, which is pretty respectful if you ask me after that unfortunate spin earlier on. Miniman crossed the line. in P7 for Red Bull. Cutters coming back up into P8. It's an astonishing effort in that Aston Martin. Tom in the other Red Bull. Double point score for these two. Mikey gets another point in this season. Crosses in P10. Only 0.7 of a second post penalties from Curator in the Williams. Craig in P12, being unfortunate as ever, but we all love Craig. And Jack coming across will end up in P13 for the Alpine after the car spinning at Eau Rouge.
Yeah, he had to come back in and get a new wing change, fresh softs. Unfortunately, it was just a lap too late, so he can't go for a fastest lap push there. Who did get the fastest lap?
I'll be able to tell you the fastest lap. I think it did go to Footy. Yes, it did. Footy with the fastest lap with a 44.6. That's almost a second quicker than the next time behind him. That is a bonus point for Footy. As WS Jack, he's celebrating. He deserves it. It was an astonishing drive for the Alpine driver, but just unfortunate with the tyre life towards the end of the Grand Prix.